Hello, so I was watching one of X-Factor's videos about maybe assault rifle buffs and nerfs, and I realised I had a bunch of clips that I'd done of assault rifles shooting against a wall with no attachments and no recoil compensation from the beginning of December. So I reproduced those now, and we can have a look at some of the assault rifles at least to see if they've changed. So this is the original footage of the AK12, so I'm going to do a few bursts and then a few half mag dumps, and then we can compare them to what happens now. So the AK12 is pretty much vertical with a bit of random horizontal kick out, and it seems to be pretty much balanced to either side. So you get a vertical line, but it's quite spread out when it gets about halfway up that wall section. So this is the same thing again, but with the guns as of today's date, which is the 10th. So this is after 2 or 3 patches, I think. I'm not exactly sure. But as you can see, straight away on the AK12, there's a lot less horizontal kick. It's going pretty much straight up with a few deviations. So that's quite a change. Now the AK12 doesn't have the fastest fire rate, but if you compare those two, the spread has been reduced a lot. There's a definite more vertical line on the new pattern than there is on the old, which definitely jerks out and about at the top. So now we'll have a look at SCARH. This isn't a gun that I've used very much. It seems quite tight on burst fire. You get a reasonable vertical recoil. It's pretty much a straight line. Well, not all the bullets show against that wall for some reason. But as I'd used this wall for this first set, I had to use the same wall for the second set, just to compare properly. So bursting seems about the same. So we'll put a few full autos in. And again, not all the bullets from the SCAR seem to make an impression on the wall. But again, it's pretty much a vertical line with a few deviations. And if we compare the two, you can see, okay, more of the bullets are showing up on the right hand side, but they're pretty much the same. I don't think anything's changed on the SCARH. So the M416 is a gun that a lot of people saying has been nerfed. So we'll have a look. This is the pre-update footage, and it's got pretty tight burst fire, and it's got pretty tight up and to the right pattern when you do a brief mag dump, and this is what it's doing now. So it's still tight on burst fire, And it's still going up to the right, but it's not as tight a line as it used to be. Yeah, it's not bad compared to a lot of the guns, but it's still not the classic that it used to be. So yeah, I would say the M416 has had a bit of a nerf, not a lot, but it's definitely not as good as it was. So SCARH21 is another gun that I have barely used. So this thing's okay on burst fire, but I find it hideous if you want to do a sustained fire on it. And as you can see, it dances around all over the place. So it's vertical recoil, but with a lot of side-to-side movement. If ever a gun needed a compensator, this is it. And this is what it's firing like now. So burst fire seems the same, it's pretty tight because it doesn't have a lot of vertical recoil. And the sustained fire is still jittery, jumping around from side to side. Yeah, not a gun that I enjoy playing with, hence it's got iron sights on it still, because I just ignored it. So as you can see from those, although I did put the groups closer together, the groupings are still pretty much the same. So I don't think anything's changed on the SCARH21. It's probably a gun that needed a change. So the AK917 is another gun that I can't get on with. Too fast for me, too recoily. So the AK is up and to the right. And it's pretty consistent. I'm having to shoot from the other side because I did shoot on the regular wall and forgot to record it. So as I'm on the other bank, this wall is the same distance away, so you can see what it looks like firing. Now I would say that that is worse than it used to be. I think the AK is skittering around horizontally more than it did. Say these are just my opinions of looking at it, but if you look at that grouping and we compare it to the original, there's not as much of a vertical line. You know, the vertical and to the right is being kind of clouded by quite a bit of spread, it would seem. So the Ace-23 is a gun that people are saying has been nerfed. So this is the pre-patch footage. So Ace-23 again is a gun that dances around quite a lot. And then this is the new version, which I shoot at the waterline instead of the brown line on the wall for some reason. So I'll redo those bursts firing at the right spot. So the burst fire still seems pretty good. And the auto seems pretty much the same to me. I don't think the ACE-23 has changed. People online are saying it's got more recoil side to side, but I don't think it has. I think it's exactly the same. So the other gun I tested out was the L85A2, and this is being shot at the wall from further back because I've run out of key side to shoot from. And the L85A2 is, for all intents and purposes, straight up and down with a bit of zigzagging. And again, this is another one that I didn't record shooting at the correct wall. I should have just kept fraps running, but I thought, oh, I'll record each one into its own clip, which was a mistake. So there's the L85, still pretty much straight up. There's a bit of juddering around. Goes a bit to the right more than the left, but I'm not sure this gun's changed dramatically from what it was. So if you look at that, maybe it's not jittering around as much as it did. It's hard to tell. Right, so this is only my opinion of that very small sample, but I think AK12 buff, M416 definite nerf, AK possible nerf, ACE-23 doubtful nerf. I don't think it has been. An L85A2 doubtful buff. It looks better, but like I say, this is just a few bursts against the wall. Anyway, hope that helps. It's pretty inconclusive on most of it, but thanks for watching.